Batman is capable of prepping for anything. Can he prep for Fortnite? This is the Comicstorian channel where I take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panel, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Today we're going to be giving you the full story of Batman x Fortnite, which is a 6-issue series which is apparently in canon with the Fortnite lore. I'm pretty amazed by that myself, actually. Overall, this is a relatively short full story, but it's all 6 of the existing issues, including the cliffhanger, which introduces, well, I'll let you see at the end of the video. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us over at Patreon if you enjoy our content when you're done with this, and I hope you guys enjoy. As the skies of Gotham are ripped apart by a strange force, Gordon lights his pipe, stating that it appeared about 7 minutes ago. The GCPD are already evacuating those within 6 blocks of the sighting. Batman tells him, "Widen it. Those readings are disturbing. Tachyons. Rydberg matter. Whatever this is, it's tearing reality itself apart. I'll take a closer look." Gordon tells him that there's one more thing. Most people are running away, but he's got some reports that a few of them are heading towards it. Batman sets off telling him, "Good. If there's someone causing this, then we can stop it with the proper incentive. Then again, this is Gotham. There's always the chance that the people running towards it are just insane." Case in point, Harley Quinn. This sort of thing isn't her normal MO, but she's drawn to chaos like a moth to flame. Up ahead, Harley yells that she can't believe it. They already went through. Yeah, you stop for 2 minutes to clean up some hyena poop and everyone starts it without you. As Batman swings in, he tells Harley to get away. She has no idea what she's dealing with. But Harley spins back, shooting, telling him, "You know, that's just typical of you. Just because you don't know, you assume that I don't know what this is." Batman asks, "Who went through?" And Harley spins back, hitting him with her knee, telling her, "I ain't no snitch, and you're not gonna ruin my fun, Batty Bat." As Harley jumps off into the fissure, Batman tries to reach out, but Harley disappears into the tear, leaving Batman alone on the rooftop. He sighs, stating that there is nothing that he can do now except try to figure out what this disturbance is. The readings from earlier are confirmed. Plus, he's picking up a disturbing amount of energy that his instruments can't identify. Whatever this is, it doesn't seem like it's coming from their world, or even this universe. But while Batman tries to make sense of the situation, a mysterious figure swings in from behind, kicking Batman forward into the tear. He quickly turns around to try and fire his grappling hook, but as he shoots, the anchor is pulled back with him into the scene. He tries to grab onto something, anything, but as the pressure around him gets stronger, everything turns black. A short time passes and Batman wakes up in a strange place just as a purple storm is making its way towards him. He fires his grappling hook, staying ahead of the storm, but suddenly, it stops. Batman stares for a moment, thinking that nothing natural behaves this way. The only thing worse than the thought that it's externally controlled is the level of power that it would take to do that. But as Batman begins to investigate the new land, a masked man jumps out of the trees, wielding an axe. Using his training, Batman catches the man, twisting with momentum, slamming the man into the ground. He tells them nothing. That's when Batman realizes that he can't talk. The man rolls, kicking Batman off, and Batman thinks that he can communicate with sign language. He starts to spell out, "I am, I," but stops when he realizes he doesn't know who he is. He is a trained fighter, and so is this man. Are they in some kind of a prison? Unlikely. They've both got weapons. The landscape isn't familiar. He's not from here, and he knows that he should be able to talk. At that moment, a speeding boat passes along the river, and Batman takes out one of his batarangs, throwing it into the boat, letting the cable it's attached to drag the man off. Finally, taking a moment to catch his breath, Batman surveys the scene again to try and process everything that has happened. But he knows that there is somebody manipulating him, and he doesn't like being manipulated. Higher ground should give him a better view of... At that moment, he sees the glint of the sniper scope in the distance, and he narrowly jumps out of the way of the oncoming bullet. As Batman tumbles down through the hills, he starts to get up, asking if everyone here is a homicidal maniac. And then he looks up to see dozens of what looks to be people, all shooting and attacking one another. New theory: Batman's gone mad, and this is an asylum. A large Viking charges and swinging an axe, but Batman dodges, disarming him. After knocking the man down, he looks around to see what's coming next, and he notices a woman not like the others. She's in a familiar suit. It looks like a cat. He knows her. Somehow. and judging by her expression looking at him, he can see that it's mutual. But while looking at him, the woman is caught off guard and one of the dozens of attackers manages to get a hit in. Batman throws his batarang, knocking the attacker back, and he fights his way through the crowd to give her some space. Once settled, the two begin working together to hold the attackers back. They don't remember each other, but their coordination is flawless. Are they partners, colleagues, friends, lovers? No matter their relation, this woman is magnificent. They're going to win this, and maybe then they'll get some answers about. But before Batman could finish that thought, the storm begins to creep in again. But those in the outside, the ones stuck in the storm, they are still attacking each other. The others see it too, but they seem determined to continue the fight. Their only chance is to end this now. The two quickly take out the remaining people as the storm closes in, until finally it's just them. They need to find a way out, except there isn't one. They're going to die. She knows it too. He really wishes that they could talk to each other. He wishes that he could remember who she is. He wishes they had more time, but they don't. And there's only this moment before the end. As Batman blinks, taking in the forest and running water, he tells himself that he doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know who he is, but apparently he planned for that. All across his equipment, he has scribbled notes. This has happened before. You have 22 minutes, along with various coordinates. What do these messages mean? How long has he been here? Well, if he is to believe that those messages are left by himself, for himself, it would seem that he is stuck in a time loop. Everything alive resets every 22 minutes. This may be some elaborate trap, but the notes are consistent with the evidence that he has. He can't speak, for one thing, and this thing says no one can. His armor is battle-scarred. Fits the note that the island is full of combatants. It seems that he has concluded that the people here are being manipulated just as much as he is. Just then, Batman hears a twig snap as one of the combatants runs up wielding what looks like a makeshift pickaxe. With a knee to the face, Batman knocks the man out, running off. If he is to believe these notes, he would have left himself a sanctuary, marked with a symbol, like this hut, with the same bat symbol on his chest. Batman steps inside to find the shack filled with even more writing, far more than he could read in the supposed 22 minutes. He picks up a piece of wood with the words, "The cat is a friend," carved into it with another set of coordinates. His past self is providing the dots. His current self needs to connect them. After setting the coordinates into the mask's lens, Batman leaves thinking to himself, who is the cat? Will I know who they are when I see them? As he comes up across a hill, he sees a group of people fighting, one of which is a giant cat. Is this the one the note was talking about? As the giant cat slams someone into the ground, he realizes that it can't be. He scans the group again to see another woman who looks different from the rest, but she's wearing a cat mask. Batman isn't sure how, but he knows she's the one. Maybe they can work together. Maybe they can take out. But as Batman stops the attacker focused on the cat lashes out with a whip. She attacks again, but how is he supposed to communicate with her? What is that roaring sound? The two stop fighting for a moment as a swirling purple storm closes in, and Batman thinks to himself that it's been about 20 minutes. He'll have to act fast. He quickly scratches into his metal bat blade. The bat is a friend and hands it to her. She hesitates but takes it, just before everything turns black. As he wakes back up, he steps out of his hut, asking himself, who is the cat? How does? And that's when one of his bat blades is thrown into the wooden frame of the shack, and the cat stares at him. She must know it too. They're both wary, but they have something in common. They don't like being trapped. So they put aside the mistrust and they make a plan. To escape this place, they must first understand this place, to explore it. The island seems isolated, no other land in reach, and if they go too far, they're going to hit a storm, far sooner than necessary. The note to themselves says that they'll reset if they're consumed by the storm, and they have no reason to think that this note isn't true. But still, it's good to not be alone at a moment like this. After each reset, Bat and Cat explore a little more of the island, leaving themselves just a little more information each time. And judging by how much is written down, they must have been working together for a long time. Their memories reset, but maybe feelings remain? Before Batman could even give it a thought, the cat is shot from behind. Batman watches the light fade from his partner's eyes and he tells himself, "It's okay, she'll be back next cycle. It doesn't mean I can't take out the one responsible though. Maybe we do reset after killing each other, but right now it doesn't matter. I just need to make them hurt." He fights and fights, not even caring that the storm is coming to claim him. And with the next awakening, the two continue to look for something to give them any indication of what is going on when Batman spots another woman who seems out of place. She has white skin, blonde hair with blue and red highlights. Something about her is familiar. Catwoman looks, and guessing from her reaction, she too has a connection to this Harlequin. Do the three of them know each other? However, it'll be hard to communicate with her since she seems to be embracing this whole song and dance. They don't have much time left. Gotta leave her a note and hope it works. So Batman jumps down holding his Batblade with the words, "This is a trap, help us find a way out." To which the Harlequin headbutts him and kicks him into the storm. Forget Harlequin. The storm is the key. Gotta remind. Soon, Batman stops going out and fighting and just focuses on the storm, its movements, where it goes. Each time the eye shrinks as time goes on, and it ends up in a different location each time. In a place where every non-living thing remains constant. The storm changes, its center changes. That's significant. Based on the numbers, this time it should be right where they're at now. As Catwoman looks around for something, they take the analyzer and they set it on the ground. It's delicate, easily damaged, and more importantly, not native to this place. But if the device is still here, still intact, that would be huge. Gotta leave a note so that the next time around. The next reset, Bat and Cat fight their way to the same location and they find their device. That means that the epicenter is special, some sort of safe zone. The storm never fully covers it. The question is, what happens to a person or people if they're at the center of the storm when it closes up? Only one way to find out. If they can reach this cycle's epicenter in time. The two reach the destination and they wait, letting the storm come in, and nothing happens. If Batman is to believe his note, standing in the epicenter didn't work. The analyzer was spared, but they weren't. Hypothesis. The safe zone isn't big enough for two people. Just for one. It has to be. This time, Batman steps into the storm, letting the Catwoman remain. He can feel his body being ripped apart, but he has to remain outside. Even if they don't retain their memories, clearly she has emotions towards him. Just then, something begins to happen and a light begins to shimmer around her. Faint, weak, it can only mean one thing. And with the last minute, Batman quickly scratches into his gauntlet, one left. The next cycle, the two fight their way to the storm center, but this time the Batman hands the Catwoman a knife and holds it to his chest. She stares for a moment, but Batman nods. She leans in, kissing him, stabbing him in the chest. The shimmering returns, but this time more powerful, more bright, and as Batman blinks, taking in the forest and the running water, he tells himself that he doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know who he is, but he feels like there's something he has to remember. What was, at that moment, a man with a makeshift pickaxe attacks and Batman dodges, stating, "It doesn't matter now. I have other things to worry about." Inter-office memo from Loop Observation to PsyOps. Subject: I'm worried about the Batman. Since Asset Catwoman escaped the loop, Asset Batman has displayed a single-minded determination to follow her, bordering on mania. Needless to say, he does not remember Catwoman. His memory, like all other assets, is lost when the storm resets with the conclusion of each loop. Granted, this subject has left himself numerous notes to remind him of the past events, but the obsessive manner in which he constantly improves himself in order to dispatch opponents is quickly suggesting far more than abstract, dispassionate following of a plan. It feels personal. While I realize it's impossible to wipe a subject's emotional memory as decisively as their conscious memory, perhaps your department can adjust the settings. I do realize that Asset Batman is a special case, and you'll be reluctant to do anything that might dull his edge, or otherwise interfere with our agenda for him. However, the degree to which he keeps improving is becoming alarming. He has nearly escaped in his last 3 attempts. My department's ability to slow him down is rapidly diminishing. If you can't assist in the area of memory manipulation, please join me in urging acquisitions to approve my recommendation to them in an expedited manner. Inter-office memo from Loop Observation to acquisitions. Thank you. I'm writing to express my appreciation for moving so fast. As I mentioned in my last memo, the situation with the asset Batman is quickly becoming untenable, but I think your quick action has righted the ship. I can admit that I've harbored some doubts that this would work. Asset Batman had knocked out everyone and everything that we had thrown at him. Even with those unique and unparalleled skill sets, I was initially afraid that that might be the case here as well. But the results are speaking for themselves. Early indications are that we're getting exactly what we need from asset Snake Eyes. These two are perfectly matched. Both use a staggering mix of fighting styles that I've never seen before, and these particular combinations. Both are relentless, skilled, and calm in the face of combat, and I'll say it, brilliant. If they were given time, these two would definitely figure everything out. Luckily, every 22 minutes in the storm wipes the slate clean and they start all over again, battling each other, neither remembering the other. Inter-office memo. Loop observation to archives. Has this ever happened? Something is occurring in relation to the encounters between Asset Batman and Asset Snake Eyes, and I've never witnessed it before. You've seen the unofficial highlight reels that I've been sending, just for entertainment. Sometimes these two fight for the entire length of the loop, doing things that would exhaust assets from most any other origin point, including their own. I know we're watching something special and you know it. But something interesting is happening. The other assets, they've all stopped fighting. They are watching Batman versus Snake Eyes. Interoffice memo, loop observation to PsyOps. Emotional retention. As we discussed, while the asset's memories are wiped at the end of each loop, we know that emotions carry over. I'm wondering, is respect an emotion? Could it stick? This is not my area of expertise, please advise. Interoffice memo, loop observation to acquisitions. Concerns. The more I watch Assets Batman and Snake Eyes, the more I worry. I hope I'm just being paranoid. Frankly, I'm hoping you'll tell me as much. We're aware that assets often band together for the sake of convenience, but these alliances are ethereal. When it comes to the last man standing at the end of the loop, they know that there can only be one, and they have no reason to care what happens to the others. Which is why I want to confirm with you that there's never been an example of a being from different origin points uniting in a significant duration. Message deleted. Inter-office memo. Loop observation to archives. Hand signals, urgent. I'm sending you still shots of hand signals that the two assets, Batman and Snake Eyes, are making to each other. I understand sign languages from several source worlds, but not this one. Can you translate? Message deleted. Inter-office memo. Loop observation, all senior partners. Subject, assets, Batman and Snake Eyes. Summary evaluation. The tactic of pitting assets, Snake Eyes against asset, Batman was successful, relatively speaking, despite buying us less time than expected. However, with unpredictable beings like this, it's probably safe to say that the unexpected is exactly what we should have expected. Inter-office memo. Loop observation to extra loop observation. Be advised. Asset Batman is inbound. You are welcome to contact me with questions and concerns. One general recommendation, if anything strikes you as noteworthy, don't hesitate to share it with the rest of us immediately. Batman and Snake Eyes have concluded their battle, and they have figured out how to communicate. And with a final salute, Snake Eyes says goodbye to Batman as he finally escapes the loop. He finally escapes Fortnite, but as he finds himself at the beginning of the next loop, he hears something that he isn't supposed to hear. A voice. He looks back to see a masked man holding a gun to a woman's head, and the man tells him, "No sudden movements." However, Batman doesn't fully realize just who this man is yet, because it's Deathstroke, who has Catwoman captive. As the world stood still, the Bat quietly watched as a masked man he'd never seen before held a gun to the head of the woman he'd never seen before. He still didn't have his memories as they hadn't returned yet, and the masked man tells the Bat to drop the weapon and put his hands on his head. But the woman says that he is such an idiot. Threatening her won't help. The Bat doesn't remember who she is. The Bat hears the words that they are speaking, which should mean that he escaped the storm. But the woman is right. He doesn't know who she is. He doesn't know who either of them are. Though, there's something about her. He does know her. He knows for a fact he doesn't want her hurt. He tosses his pick, and he finally speaks. All right, just let her go. But the cat woman smiles, motioning with her hand, signaling for him to do something. At that moment, the cat throws her arm back, pushing the masked man away. And a second later, Batman throws one of his bat-shaped blades, disarming the masked man. The Catwoman attacks the masked man, asking, "Does this seem familiar? Because we used to fight together. A lot." After getting kicked in the head, the masked man blasts at the ground, telling them both to wait. "This isn't necessary! I'm not your enemy!" Catwoman uses her whip to take the blaster, telling him that the gun that he just had to her head really convinced her that he's not a bad guy. The masked man says, "Fine. If that's the way it has to be, I surrender." She takes his sword and he goes on. "I was just protecting myself. People usually come out of that loop hostile." Batman asks, "Loop?" The masked man says that they have been trapped in a time loop that resets every 22 minutes, along with their memory. They've escaped, but there's an adjustment to it. Catwoman then says that he isn't lying. She came out a few days ago and went into hiding, trying to get a lay of the land. And there's something else that they should warn him about. Before Batman could even ask, he feels a splitting pain in his head as suddenly a flood of memories begin to pour in. Catwoman says that it took a bit longer for her, but those are his memories of every loop that he's experienced all at once. It's a lot. Now he knows what she means by "they've fought before." Batman turns to her. I remember coming here, but nothing before that." The masked man tells him, "No, those memories don't come back. If we have any hope of getting off of this island, we're going to have to work together. Me and the cat earned each other's trust, fighting together, dying together. You haven't earned a goddamn thing. In fact, you're not even a part of my memories." The masked man tells him, "I got out a few weeks ago, pure luck really, however, I wasn't the only one." At that moment, a hook knocks the whip out of Cat's hand as a group of people surround them. The masked man goes on telling them, "I didn't want to overwhelm you, but all of us have gone through this and we've all come to the same conclusion. Some powerful being brought us all here. But if there's a way in, there's gotta be a way out. The only way we're gonna find it is by working together." A woman in the surrounding group says that those beings stand in their way of getting home. Then they have to beat them. Their names are Bat and Cat, right? We call the one with one eye here Deathstroke. And as you can see by his fighting, you can imagine why. The others call me Raider. I've been here the longest, almost 4 years. But the others kinda have names associated with how they look. There's Bandolette, Bonehead, and Magnus. Bat stops Raider for a moment asking, 4 years. If that's the case, you must have explored. What do you know? Raider tells him, well, let's start with the obvious. This island is the whole world. Go out far enough by air or water and there's nothing, a void. And the gravity and atmosphere vanish. If you have tried going into the void to figure out what must be through the other side of it, in a way, there is a way out, just not one that you'd want. There has also been what one can describe as events, more like natural disasters, but at least some were definitely not natural. One was a device clearly made by intelligent beings, intelligent and with vast resources. It appeared on a small island in the lake. It was just there one day. We tried to get close, but the security was too tight. Then something happened. This device appeared and then a plume of pure energy, and now there's a tower there. There's also other things that we have found. Signs of something. There's a painting on a slab of stone showing what looks like people being taken from elsewhere and placed here by godlike beings. Batman looks over at the people, stating that if they're coming from different portals, then they are presumably coming from different locations. Some of them could have come from the same place, but based on technology and biology, some clearly. A fish-like man says, no offense, but you're really not the world's greatest detective, are you? We already knew that. As for what they call me, I'm Fish Stick. I'm not sure yet if I should be offended by it, but this whole place offends me, so... Batman asks, if that's the case, can you breathe in water, or at least survive in it? And Fishstick tells him, again, not exactly a genius, huh? Of course I can. Batman looks over at the others and says, the name that stuck for him was Voyager. And Bat says, okay, we need to get an aerial map as soon as possible. After that, we can divide it into sectors and search them. Anything noteworthy at all, report it. Bandolette tells him, hey, wait a minute, why are we listening to you? And Batman glares at her. Deathstroke says, that's good enough for me. Later, as the group begins to break off into pairs, Bat takes Cat, and once alone, he tells her that they may not know where they come from, but clearly they're from the same place. The connection between them from the moment they got here is undeniable. Catwoman tells him, sure, but what is it? Are they friends, enemies, co-workers, husband and wife? Batman tells her that he doesn't know, and it doesn't matter. What does is this: they know they can trust each other, and probably no one else can. We need each other to get through this, agreed? She leans in, telling him, yeah, it makes sense, just don't expect her to slow down for him. After a few days of searching and collecting what information they could, Batman gathers everyone, stating that from what they've learned, things only come to this island one of two ways. One, through the ground, similar to what Raider called the events, but digging has yielded nothing useful, which means that leaves the hatches that they've found. The 3 of them that they have found, to their knowledge, cannot be opened. Magnus says, I smite them often for exercise and nothing dents them. They're impervious to all forces and weapons. There are no latches, locks, or means to enter a code. They give us nothing. Batman says, not entirely. Whoever controls this place seems unlikely to have designed the hatches to only open from one side. The puppet masters wouldn't take a chance of getting trapped here. The device I have can analyze and replicate energy frequencies. If we theorize that the hatches are designed to open for whoever they are, and not us, there's something about them that they recognize. So our next step is to collect energy traces from various locations, like the places the pylons rose from, the tower, fragments of the meteor, anything that may have come from them. And then we'll try to reach a particular energy signature on the hatch. Even if it takes dozens, hundreds, or even thousands, there is that one chance that one of them is the key. So after a few days and collecting all that they could, Batman tries opening one of the hatches, and to his surprise, it opens. Bandolette yells, "That's unbelievable, you did it! Let's hurry and..." But Batman stops her. No, we don't know what we're dealing with. Fishstick will search underwater for any security measure that may have been activated. And while he searches the water, the rest of us will carefully explore the... But as soon as they step into the underground ruins, 2 giant rock golems appear and begin to attack. While everyone tries to hold the golems back, Batman shouts, "We're just chipping away at them! Aim for the glowing ruins! Target those!" Raider begins to shoot at them, stating that if this doesn't work, she's going to come back and haunt him. As Raider finally breaks through one, the golems fall over and Bonehead says, "Not bad." And Kat says that she sees lights coming from up ahead. As the group moves forward, they find an armory of sorts, stocked with weapons, tools, and supplies similar to what is found throughout the island. Raider looks around, stating that this place looks pretty beat up. Maybe the energy plume? Could be whoever ran things here evacuated. Deathstroke marches on, telling them that they need to go deeper. If whoever was here got out somehow, maybe we can. And Batman tells everyone, all right, there are 4 doors, so we'll break into 4 teams of 2. Meet back in 3 hours for preliminary reports. If you encounter any hostiles, make as much noise as possible so that we come looking. Everyone splits off into groups and Bat and Cat take one, but after 40 minutes of searching, they find nothing but a dead end. They begin to head back when Batman suddenly hears something scratching in the distance. He runs over to a pile of rubble, stating that it came from here, and when he removes the rocks, he finds Fishstick coughing and nearly crushed. Batman tells Cat to get some water and then asks Fishstick who did this. He says that he didn't see them, but there's no point in helping him. He found something on the seabed. He was bringing it to them. Batman takes out a small device that Fishstick holds up, telling him, "It's heavily rusted, non-functional. But if there's anything left in the storage battery..." Yes, energies are similar to those in the epicenter of the storm. This device might be able to create a field of that energy, which means, in theory, it could allow someone to access the island without being caught in the loop. And they would keep their memories intact. Batman rushes over to the supply center, taking apart one of the stations, stating that the technology in the device resembles the technology here. They were made by the same people. But all indications are that the people here fled further into the facility. Why would someone go inside the hatch and close it and then discard the device unless that's not what happened at all? Fishstick coughs, telling him, "It would mean that someone is lying. They didn't escape the loop. They were never in it. They remember everything. One of us is working for..." But before he could finish, Fishstick draws his last breath. And Batman says, "That would mean one of us is working for them." The sound of gunfire rings out in the tunnels beneath the Fortnite island as the guards push their way through, cornering the recently memory-recovered contestant trying to escape the loop. While huddled behind cover, Raider asks, "Who the hell are these guys anyway?" And Deathstroke asks her, "Doesn't matter, they're shooting at us. We have to shoot back." Bandolette runs out to the other side of the hallway, firing her rifle, stating that they need to do something or these guards are just gonna call in reinforcements. At that moment, a smoke grenade is thrown past Bandolette, and a voice tells her reinforcements have arrived. just not the ones that they were expecting. Batman and Catwoman quickly charge in, taking out the guards, giving everyone a bit of cover. But Batman tells everyone not to let their guard down. These soldiers have pretty impressive hand-to-hand combat skills. Magnus runs in, slamming the blade of his axe through one of the guards as Batman yells, "No! No killing!" And Magnus asks him why. So Batman explains, because that's murder now. They're outside of the loop. Besides, some of these guards are captives from the loop. I fought this person specifically before. There's no telling if these people are fully aware of what's going on or not, but their presence here is alarming. The reactions that these guards had to fighting one another, it's like they're synced together, fighting for years. Deathstroke looks at him. There's a chance that these people are clones, or even parallel universe duplicates. If you're gonna sit and speculate, you might as well do it on the move. These guys are too unconscious to tell us squat. Bonehead looks around, telling them that it looks like every other path was a dead end, and they've all managed to get back together. But where's Fishstick? Batman sadly looks at the group. Fishstick's dead. From his wounds, it was some sort of energy beam. The doors open up to the next area, and everyone steps in to what looks like a giant conference room, with Catwoman asking if it's a war room. No one sits around the table like that to plan parties. Batman looks at some of the objects left over in the broken and vacant room, stating that some of these items, I've seen them before. This writing is familiar. Something about the place from which all reality sprang. They call it the 0 Point. This speaks of a grand plan to bring order to everything. It doesn't seem like they created it, but whoever these people are, they're using it. Deathstroke then says that they need to keep moving. If the guards come in, it'll be a killing field. Catwoman agrees, because this place feels wrong. But not long after, they move into the next set of halls. The guards appear on both ends, cornering the group in one of the corridors. While avoiding being shot, Deathstroke says that he has an idea. Take out those liquid nitrogen capsules. Batman begins to ask, what? And then he stops himself, stating, I see what you mean. Batman reaches into one of his pouches, grabbing a handful of liquid nitrogen capsules, throwing them down one hallway, freezing some of the support beams. Deathstroke then uses his energy staff, blasting it, bringing down the ceiling, ultimately blocking their path. Catwoman scoffs, telling him they just brought down the house. They do realize that there's no escape if both sides are down, right? Batman tells her, it's fine. We're gonna take out these guards the old-fashioned way. And after taking down the next set of guards, Bandolette says that she is glad that they managed to survive, but where are they supposed to go with the exit blocked? Batman begins to walk forward, saying that the collapsed way was the way back. If there's no way out, it's ahead of them. As the next set of doors open, a purple glow illuminates the area, and everyone asks, what is it? Batman looks at everyone and tells them that the stone tower is the 0 Point. We need to be careful and look for. But Voyager yells, no, this is it, I can sense it! Once I shatter the barrier, I can go anywhere, do anything, voyage, for all eternity! Batman shouts for him to stop, but Voyager asks, wait, no, never again, and he slams his pick into the stone. The 0 Point sparks, lashing out all of the different realities, ripping Voyager's body apart, until each piece finally disappears. Raider asks what happened, and Batman scans it. The uncontrolled omniversal energy absorbed him. I have a theory that the 0 Point cycles through countless realities per second. And Deathstroke chimes in. Voyager was scattered into a dozen pieces, each sent to a random universe. Catwoman begins to look at the controls, stating that they need to be able to figure out how to use these terminals. But with whatever shook up this place, they don't seem like they're getting any power. Deathstroke then says that it looks like all of this equipment drew power from the 0 Point itself, but that barrier seems to have severed the connection. After a few hours of rigging things together, Batman stands in front of a mirrored panel. Alright, we should be able to activate this panel with the right power source. I suspect that the panels normally created a vibrational energy attuned to whatever specific reality these people wanted to access to. But we have an alternate source. Ourselves. If we align the panel with the multiversal energy contained within one of us, it should open up a pathway to that individual's world. Theoretically, there's only one way to find out. Raider steps up, stating that she'll be first. She was here the longest, and they couldn't stop her if they wanted. She picks up the connecting cable, and Batman tells Deathstroke to power up the staff. Once the panel is charged, a beam shoots out of it, creating a ball of energy that begins to shake the room. Raider looks up and sees images. That's my home! She begins to run forward, but Catwoman tells her to wait. They saw what happened to Voyager. But Raider says that this is different. She can feel it. She can finally go home. And she leaps through the portal, disappearing. Bandolette asks if she made it, and Deathstroke tells them, "She did make it. We did it." Batman tells him, "You don't need us anymore. Or should it be, your masters don't need us anymore, you traitor." Deathstroke looks right at him. "What the hell are you talking about?" And Batman stares him stone cold in the eyes. "You're the one who killed Fishstick. Fishstick found a discarded device that let him exist on the island without losing his memory, something only you would have. It was yours. You didn't want Fishstick showing it to anyone, and his burns are consistent with that staff." Deathstroke says, "Or it could have been one of the guard's energy weapons." Batman tells him, "That's true, but you remember the liquid nitrogen capsules. Those had not been revealed since I've been here, which would mean that we both share the same homeworld, don't we, Deathstroke?" Deathstroke sighs, grabbing his staff. "Okay, what the hell? Anyone who sides with me, I'll get you home. Don't, and you'll die here." Magnus yells, "I think not, traitor!" And Deathstroke turns, quickly charging and knocking Magnus out. Catwoman gets ready to help, but Bandolette says, "Nope, I'm the one with the guy who's got the pull with the people in charge." While Deathstroke is fighting off Batman and Bonehead, he yells, "How stupid are you? This isn't necessary!" Batman deflects the sword swing from Deathstroke. "If that's true, that would mean that we need each other. But if we're declaring a truce, I'm the one calling the shots." Deathstroke stops fighting. "Fine, you win!" And Bandolette says, "Really? You get a girl all fired up and you leave her hanging. Typical." After Deathstroke is secured, everyone continues activating the machine, letting everyone go in one by one, until finally there is only Batman, Catwoman, and Deathstroke. Batman tells them, "Okay, staff at full power. Let's get Deathstroke into position so we can add his omniversal energy and we can get back." But Deathstroke stops him. "Wait, hear me out. What if we don't?" A knife springs out of Deathstroke's boot, and he cuts the rope holding him, jumping back to his feet, starting to run towards the portal. Batman begins to yell, "What are you doing? Don't be a fool! We need each other to get back." And Deathstroke stops to pull out a small device. "Nope, you need me. I don't need you. And now that the others are out of the way, just one last speed bump to get over." Catwoman asks him, "What is that, a weapon?" And Deathstroke runs back towards the portal. "No, it's more like a compass that can guide me home without you." Catwoman throws the tethered spear into the portal, but Deathstroke knocks it away, telling her, "It's not all bad, though. Sure, you're stuck in a crazy alien dimension forever, but at least you'll have each other." Deathstroke's voice begins to fade as his body disappears, leaving Batman and Catwoman alone with the 0 point closed and no way to get back home. As the portal begins to shut down, Batman finally managed to process what just happened. Deathstroke trapped them at the 0 point. There isn't enough power between him and Cat to power up the panel and get them back home. Deathstroke played them like amateurs, and he let it happen. Cat pulls out her whip, telling him that he's always worrying about the other, but don't give up yet. She may have missed grabbing him, but she did manage to snag his gadget, the one that synced the 0 point with their home. Batman takes the device, holding it up, but the 0 point only shows a portal going back to the loop, which doesn't help them at all. Except, maybe it does. Batman says that what they need is a third person who originates from their world. They thought that was Deathstroke, but they did run into someone else who felt familiar. Catwoman asks, "The woman dressed up like a playing card? I got the same feeling. But what happens if we go back in and we lose our memories in the battlefield?" Batman ties himself to Cat's whip, stating that he doubts whoever made this would allow that to happen. "But it's a risk. I'll go first. If I seem confused, pull me back." He takes a deep breath walking through and remembers everything just fine. He calls to Cat that there's no memory loss, but if something happens to them over time, they have to hurry. She asks how are they supposed to find this Harley Quinn, and Batman attaches the anchor on Cat's whip onto his grappling gun, stating, "Aerial reconnaissance, hold on." She wraps her arms around him, telling him anytime, and he fires the grappling hook, latching it onto the battle bus that brings all of the contestants in, the two scan the area dangling from it. It doesn't take long for them to find Harley Quinn as she is shooting and maiming everyone in sight. Batman tells Cat that they tried to reason with her before. Pointless, strike hard and fast. The two quickly jump in, but the bleach-skinned woman seemingly dances around their hits. As Catwoman cracks her whip with one arm, Batman kicks the gun out of the other. She pulls on the whip, sending the woman to the ground, with Bat telling her that they need to figure out how to make her understand if they want her to get us back home. Harley Quinn sits up yelling, "Maybe you two are just stupid enough to figure out that I don't want to go home!" Catwoman stares for a moment and asks, "She can talk? How?" Harley tells them, Duh, because I'm probably amazing like this island until you came back and won't shut up. Bat tells her that they need to go home, but it'll take the three of them and their chances of that are rapidly diminishing. Harley thinks about it. Oh, now I get it. You don't freaking listen! She sweeps Batman's feet out from underneath him and begins to shoot, yelling, I love it here! We get to fight and dress up and die and get up and do it all over again and look awesome doing it! The fighting, the flossing, the total bonkers craziness of the whole island! These are my people and I'm staying! As Harley jumps in to hit Batman with her unicorn pick, Batman spins back, punching her in the face, finally knocking her out. Batman looks at the woman. Our world must be very strange. I'd assumed she lost her memory too, but if she's in her right mind, it wants to stay. But before he could go on, something whizzes by his face, and when he looks over, he sees a metal blade, very similar to the ones that he uses. He quickly turns back to see another version of himself and Cat, along with another wave of contestants. Cat lunges at her counterpart, asking, Who the hell are these guys? And Bat fights, Duplicates. That explains why we saw beings outside of the loop who are still in the loop. Seems the island creates a snapshot of those who escape. Cat tells him, sure, you can check out, but you can never really leave. Well, these two are as good as we are, and we're running out of time. Batman throws a flashbang, blinding everyone, telling Cat to open up the portal and get them out of here. The two stumble in with Harley and they begin to get the machine back up and running. Once the 0 point locks onto their original point of origin, Batman throws an explosive batarang into the control panel. This'll make sure that we seal it from this side. He then goes and picks up Harley, but Catwoman tells him to wait. He looks at her and she says, maybe they should stay. Before Batman has a chance to respond, the two are kicked as Harley launches herself up, yelling, That's what she said! By she, I mean me. You can talk amongst yourselves, but I'm missing out on all the sweet, sweet carnage! Catwoman gets ready to take off after her, but Batman stops her, telling her, we did all of this to get back home. What's changed? Catwoman tells him, she's scared. Yeah, this place is strange, but we know how it works now. We've got autonomy, freedom. We've got each other. You saw those snapshot versions of us? We could be happy here. Batman asks, you think that you wouldn't be happy back home? And Catwoman tells him, no, I don't know. Maybe we're enemies there, or strangers, or married to other people. When I first met you, I figured you'd just be another way to survive, to escape the loop, but now I don't want to lose what we have. Batman looks away. I know what you mean. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't have similar thoughts. But I have a feeling that people are counting on me on the other side, that this dimensional breach is dangerous and could happen again. I have to stop it. Catwoman asks, why you? Why do you have to go back? I don't know. It just feels like it's who I am. A few moments later, she takes his hand. Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's go. The two begin to run, jumping through the portal just in time for the batarang on the other side to explode and shut the portal down. As they land, Kat says that it looks like it worked. But if this is home, why doesn't she remember? Just then, a flood of memories begin to pour into their minds and they just stare at each other. And after a few moments, Batman looks at her. Selina. And Catwoman tells him, no, I told you. We should have stayed. She swings away and Batman returns to the GCPD asking where's Deathstroke. But Jim tells him Gone escaped. But it doesn't matter now, they won. He did the important thing and closed that crack and no one got hurt. Batman doesn't respond for a moment and then says that he's not sure they won at all. Deathstroke couldn't have pulled this off without a backer, someone from this world. It had to be someone wealthy, powerful, and influential. And the likely candidates don't put his mind at ease. Meanwhile, over in a penthouse in Metropolis, Deathstroke says that the crack in Gotham is closed, but it doesn't matter. The anchor device that he planted at the 0 point is coming in strong, which means Lex Luthor sits up in his chair. It means that the tethering worked. We have the ability to return to the 0 point and make a use of that power. Deathstroke tells him, exactly. And I gotta say, I had my doubts even Batman could do what we needed him to, but it worked perfectly. Another twisted voice begins to laugh. Don't give him too much credit. It's not hard to predict what Batman will do when you are Batman. The Batman who laughs steps out, stating that they needed the world's greatest detective to unlock the secrets of this island. He needed an emotional engine to drive him, Catwoman. He knows a few things about other realities as well. They might say that all of this is right in his wheelhouse. Lex raises a glass. We delivered as agreed, reached to the 0 point, planted the anchor device so that we could return there. I'd say that the imagined order got everything it wanted, or do you prefer they? Dr. Sloan steps out. Please, Mr. Luther, they is what the island dwellers call it. I think that we're a little more civilized here. And yes, you've delivered precisely what you promised. Please accept my compliments. Lex tells her, well, if that's the case, I'd say it's time for you to keep up your end of the bargain. She smiles, looking out the window. We've already begun. And just above the Daily Planet, another tear begins to form, similar to what happened in Gotham. And there you have it, the conclusion to Batman Fortnite, right here at the Comicstorian channel. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I honestly loved it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Batman versus Snake Eyes, Batman versus Deathstroke. It was basically just Batman being more of a detective than I would have expected in a Fortnite-centric comic. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about this overall thing, and if you play Fortnite, because I do quite a bit. I actually enjoy the game. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.